All right, welcome back, DLLS crew. Jeff Kavanaugh from your DLLS Cowboys show, alongside the great Brian Baldinger, Baldy, who is, my God, living it up on December 19th. Baldy, what are you doing?
I have a beachside place here in Fort Lauderdale, and the water's calm. I got to get in there to dive today, so I might as well just kind of set my – when I finish this, I'm going 40 feet down out there at the second buoy line to see if there's anything big swimming around, and I'm going to go join the fun.
Oh, let that be a lesson to you out there. Work hard. You could get an extra place in Fort Lauderdale. Hell yes. Baldy, we're getting ready for Cowboys and Buccaneers, and the Cowboys got a little momentum. They've played some better football than they did early in the year, but now you're going up against a team that is perhaps headed to the postseason, perhaps headed to a division title, winning football lately. How big of a game is this for Mike McCarthy, Mike Zimmer, guys who we're starting to hear from the owner, we're starting to hear from the front office about the good job the coaches are doing because things are going well? How big is it now with this different sort of challenge?
I think every one of these weeks are important, and how you finish is going to be a big part of what happens next year. And the Bucs, I just saw the Bucs live in Los Angeles last week against, just take the Chargers apart. They look like a playoff team to me. They're running the ball excellent, but so are the Cowboys. I mean, if you want to look at good coaching jobs, I mean, Mike Solari, a banged-up offensive line, guys changing positions last week. Adoga's at left tackle, he's at right guard. Hoffman's now at center. I mean, you look at what they've done and how Rico is running the ball. It's impressive. It just is. I don't care what the record is. I didn't know that Rico Dowdle could run between the tackles like this, that he could break tackles, that he could put together a string of 3 straight 100-yard games. And I think each week it looks better and better. Now, there's Vita Vea in the middle of that defense for the Bucs. A lot of teams don't have success against that, but that's a good test for a lot of these guys that are fighting for positionings on the team next year, coaches fighting for positions to stay. I think this is a good measuring stick.
Yeah, I think one of the names that I immediately think of, because you mentioned Vita Vea, is, if you get Cooper Beebe back this week from the concussion, that's great, but Brock Hoffman's probably still playing out there. For a guy that is looking to prove to you, hey, if Zach Martin's gone, you don't have a massive need at right guard. I'm here. What a great test for Brock Hoffman.
No question. I've been following him closely since he took over for Zach. He's really strung together a good group of games at guard and at center. I think it's his contract here. I'm not positive about that. That always is an incentive for any player. But regardless, he's shown that he can be your swing guard tackle if that's his role. He can be a starter, I believe, if that's his role. Look, Zach Martin has been the benchmark in his business for an offensive guard for a decade. So I don't want to just write Zach Martin off. But, regardless, finances are always an important part. Brock Hoffman has shown you that given time, good coaching, that he can be a player for you, whether it's the backup role or as a starter right now. He's helped himself out a great deal.
So we talk about Tampa as the better team in this football game and the challenges that the Cowboys will face to try to stay on a positive track. What are the biggest challenges for Tampa Bay when they come deal with the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I think, dealing with Micah Parsons is always a problem. I mean, Micah's trying to make up for lost time right now. He can ruin offenses. He has done that to the Bucs before. Remember the opening game? His first game as a pro. You remember a game 2 years ago when Brady was there, and Mike is just ruining and Brady's shouting at his lineman, to get this guy off my back. We're trying to score touchdowns. He's been a thorn, in the Bucs side since he's gotten here. I'm pretty sure his first start was against the Bucs, his rookie year. You can have all the game plans you want. If he gets to the quarterback and he starts chasing you, you're going down and you're going to make a bad decision. That's what happened to Bryce Young last week a couple times. So, but Odigizua is playing better. I think Liufau stepped in for, Overshown pretty well last week. So, this is a good test. Mike Evans is a big-time player. I don't know if Trayvon's gone and, what the status of some of these guys, but this guy is going for his 11th straight year of 1,000+ yards. Nobody's ever done that before, including Jerry Rice. He didn't do it his first 11 years. He did it 11 years in a row, but not his first 11. Mike Evans has a chance to do that. He scored 2 last week against a stingy secondary. Like, there's some good challenges for the Bucs. And look, nobody has improved more in this league from last year to this year in the run game than the Bucs. Bucky Irving is elite back. They've done a great job up front. Liam Cohen is probably the offense coordinator. He's probably going to get head coaching consideration for what he's doing with this offense. And when you go up against Baker, the guy is just tougher than shoe leather, man. Like, he's going to keep throwing it. He can throw a pick like he did early in the game last week and just keep slinging it. He's not going to dwell on it. Like, he's got that fighter's mentality at quarterback.
So the guy that you named is actually the next guy I wanted to ask you about, because I feel like everybody knows the name Ben Johnson, at least big football fans in Detroit. Probably a front runner for anybody who is going to have an opening this offseason for a head coach. But in seeing Tampa Bay's offense throughout this year, I've been thinking the same thing, and I wasn't really familiar with Liam Cohen's name, but just watching the way that they operate and the formations and the play designs, that's a guy that kind of jumped out at me. And Jerry Jones is different. I don't know if he would ever hire anybody that he doesn't have name recognition and feel super comfortable with. But Liam Cohen is a guy that has certainly gotten my attention over the course of this season.
Good. I mean, he's got mine because, Liam Cohen, let's just look at it. I mean, he inherits a team, that won a playoff game. Last year, Baker became the guy. But they were last in rushing 2 years in a row. They're 5th right now. And they're doing it with the rookie center, a rookie running back. They put the line together now. They've drafted that line. Outside of the left guard, Brendan Peterson, but they drafted their tight ends, and they've developed these guys. Jalen, you lose in the same game, you lose Mike Evans and you lose Godwin for the season in the same game, and Evans hasn't played for a month. So now you're throwing Decade Otten and Jalen McMillan and Palmer or whatever, but yet you're still leading the division, and so he's shown a lot from formations to scheme, to unleashing Chargers were a good defense. They ran for almost 200 yards against them last week. It's impressive to watch. Nobody knew who Sean Tucker was until he stepped on the field against New Orleans a couple weeks ago. He had almost 200 yards of offense. So he's doing it in a variety of ways with a variety of players. And if I'm an owner, if I'm a general manager, and I'm looking for a coaching candidate, give me a guy that's fixed a bad running game, that's overcome the loss of good receivers, and is in contention to go win the division.
Baldy, enjoy the tuna, the sturgeon, the salmon, the dolphins, and the sharks.
I'm going to go find them. I hope there's a lemon shark that swims beneath my feet in the next 30 minutes. That would energize me.
Did you just say you hope there's a shark?
Yeah, I do. I want to. Those lemon sharks are just beautiful. Like, sometimes they just swim underneath you and just keep on going. Mind their business. If there's a bull shark, I'm getting out of the water. But there's certain sharks that, I feel like I could go pet a nurse shark. Be like petting a puppy.
All right, you have better shark knowledge than I do. Just the word shark, I'm out of there. But you know what you're doing. I like it. All right. All right. Have a great swim, Baldy.
Yeah. Thank you. Enjoy the game this weekend. Good stuff.
We all silly like the mayor.